So last year, by the way, good morning. Last year we had a sermon text I actually pulled from Acts that was with our lectionary cycle, not important, about the Areopagus, where Paul preached. It's this rock, if you've ever been to Athens, near the Parthenon, it kind of overlooks it. It's kind of between Parthenon and what would have been the main legislative quarter of Athens back then. It's a place where philosophers met, the wise, to discuss everything going on, debate. Remember, the Athenians loved that. Um, to debate philosophy and world current events. That's what I'm looking for. Um, Religion, etc. So Paul goes here, right? We've been talking about seeking out where ministry is. Paul goes out. Paul's like, hey, come meet me at this church. No, no, no. God. Paul goes, oh boy. Paul goes to this public place of the Areopagus, a place that is not Christian at all. He goes there and seeks this opportunity out. God has called him to this place to speak in ways that are powerful. And he does this very cleverly, right? Athenians, I see how or extremely religious you are in every way, okay? Oh, by the way, I'm in Acts 17:22 for 34. Sorry, 17:22 to 34. And he talks about, I've seen your objects of worship. And I found among them, an altar to, quote, the unknown God. Okay, so he's buttered them up. He's complimented them, right? You were so religious. And you have all these statues. Wow, I'm amazed by their piety. He doesn't go and slam them. He doesn't say, you heathens, repent. No. He sees the good in them, okay? And then he sought out God's presence in the unknown God, right? What you worship as unknown, this I proclaim to you, the God who made the world and everything in it. This God is the Lord of heaven and earth, does not live in shrines made by human hands, the differentiation now, nor is served by human hands, as though this God needed anything, like the Greek gods did. Since God gives to all mortals life and breath and all things. And he goes on about God and God and God, right? We have our, the famous, for in God we live and move and have our being. I mean, as your poets have said, for we too are God's offspring, right? He's pulling in their culture now too, and he's pulling it all in. He's making this unified connections with a space that is meaningful to them, and speaking in ways that's meaningful to them, right? This Areopagus doesn't come in there and do it all churchy language. He comes in speaking as they were, using their philosophy and understanding, right? And says, this unknown God, who have no idea, I'm telling you, I have witnessed this God. I'm here to tell you about it. God, and Paul has sought out not only a place of ministry, God has found God present in this moment amongst the statues, amongst the people, amongst the culture, everything that was foreign to Paul, he's been able to locate God in all of it. So how was it received? Rousing success? When, verse 32, when they had heard of the resurrection of the dead, some scoffed, but others said, we will hear you again about this. At that point, Paul left them. But some of them joined him and became believers, including Dionysius the Areopagite, what a name, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. Think about it for a second. Even though Paul sought out this ministry spot, Paul sought out God amongst the craziness that was Athens, right? Some still scoffed. Some said, we'll have to hear about this again. I got to think about it a little bit. And some believed. And I think it's, we're talking about seeking out God. It doesn't mean we're always going to get it right. It doesn't always mean that what we do is we're going to see the impacts immediately, right? Like Jesus said with the seeds. Sometimes different soils need some cultivation. Some heard and believed. Some needed more time to think about it. And some rejected. That's going to happen. Okay? But we need to continuously seek out God, because God will continue to work on these people's hearts. God will continue to be present in their lives in ways we cannot. We don't know how Paul's witness to the Areopagus changed more lives than besides the ones that are listed here. All right. We did it. We will now wrap up the week tomorrow, going back to a book that's really actually gotten some great material for our time together. And no, it's not Romans. It's not Romans. A different book. We haven't used it as much, but it seems like every time we pull it out, it's just a fire starter. It's good stuff. So I'll see you tomorrow to wrap up the week.